Good afternoon. This is TTT Live, Talk City 91.1 FM and TTT Live online on Facebook. I'm Dike Rostant with your TTT News Update. In political news, the new PNM candidate for Dabadi Omera says she was born ready and is raring to go. Arima Mayor Lisa Morris-Julian was selected by the PNM on Tuesday night at the party's screening committee at Queen's Hall, St. Anne's.
Ready to work, ready to get out there. I have a good team with me. All my colleagues are supporting me. Dabadi Omera Executive, we're more than ready to do this. The right time, the right choice. I'm very grateful to the political leader and to the screening committee for giving me this opportunity.
And Mayor Morris-Julian replaces Ansel Antoine, the incumbent MP who was deselected as prospective candidate after a videotape was circulated of him at a PNM meeting criticizing the United States using derogatory language. Orapooch police are currently searching for 15-year-old Felicia Sukram of Douglas Trace, St. Mary's. She was last seen yesterday. Felicia is of East Indian descent, brown complexion, 5 feet 5 inches tall with slim build and long black hair. She was last seen wearing a green top, grey short pants and black and yellow slippers. She was reported missing earlier today. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of missing 15-year-old Felicia Sukram is strongly urged to call the police at 677-7544 or 999-555 or share the information via the TTPS mobile app. Now into this conversation. The first panel discussion in the 2020 Kwame Ture Memorial Lecture Series is on Thursday, July 9. Now we're lucky to have the Executive Chair, Sister Zakia Uzoma Wadada, in the flesh, or rather via Zoom, to discuss this upcoming event dealing with student revolutionaries of the 1970 Black Power movement. Sister Zakia, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, DK. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of the conversation this afternoon.
Our pleasure. How have the other events and initiatives been going in the calendar, the Emancipation Support Committee's calendar thus far?
Okay, very good, DK. We have been very pleased because what the virtual presentations have allowed us to experience is a very, very wide audience. We've had people listening in and participating in our events from as far as the continent of Africa, Europe, the USA, the Caribbean. So, and we have our events, because they stay online, we have events, gathering as much as 10,000 views, etc. So the online experience is a very interesting one for us. It's been challenging in getting them done because we have to really, become en courant with some technology with which we may not have been previously. But it has been a wonderful experience. And we launched the Kwame Ture Memorial Lecture Series on Sunday gone. And we have now on Thursday, the first in the series as it continues. And as you said, on Thursday, we will be speaking about student revolutionaries of the 1970 Black Power movement.
And it seems as though this time, some people may say fortunately, some people may say unfortunately, it is very well timed with the events that we're seeing today. And one of the things I was pointing out to someone, and we shared a bit of this before, is the fact that the current chair of CARICOM, he was a student leader, and he was one of those at the helm of what we now know as the Rodney riots. What can we look forward to in this panel discussion as it is happening on Thursday?
Yes, so what is happening with the panel discussion? It is going to be done via Zoom and be streamed onto the Emancipation Support Committee's Facebook page, as well as that of the University of the West Indies Open Campus Facebook page, because we are collaborating with UWOC this year on our virtual events. And as would have happened on Sunday, we are facilitating interaction and questions from the audience, and the audience on Facebook were really engaged on Sunday. And we understand that what they want to talk about is really how the events of 1970, its relevance today, what lessons were learned with respect to organization and actually making an impact and bringing about some of the changes that took place. So today, on Thursday, which is tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 p.m., we will be talking with some of the persons who were then young persons who participated in the revolution as students. They actually had created an organization called the National Organization of Revolutionary Students. A lot of us may know of Josanne Leonard. She was one of the founding members of that institution. So Josanne, and along with three other founding members of NORS, would be part of the discussion, and this discussion would be moderated by young Shabaka Kambon. So it's going to be very interesting because they're going to be talking about their experience as young people during the revolution, and of course, lessons learned and how they now, as adults, feel about what is happening not only here nationally, but in the region, as we are seeing with what happened in Grenada recently, and of course, internationally. You know, it's really a wave of consciousness. And we are also seeing expressions, of the attitudes to which the protests and so are directed, because I read some very disturbing comments today from Barbados, persons of Caucasian or mixed Caucasian and their own descriptions of their relationships and their own views of Africans in the society. So I think that there is an energy in the society right now that is really revealing on both sides what the issues are, what some of the concerns are, what are the perceptions, which all reflect that psyche of colonialism remains with us on both sides of the colonial divide, meaning those who would be considered the colonial masters and those who were considered the oppressed and or enslaved. And therefore, it is an extremely interesting time. And I think it's, reconciliation is really, really important. Self-repair, really looking at truth at this time, facing it frontally is what we have to do at this time.
And looking at some of those things that you just spoke about in terms of reconciliation, self-repair, in the spirit of Sankofa and going back, looking at the past and using that to inform future actions, what are some of the things that you hope to be coming out with this, the panel discussion that is happening, as in the context of the energy that you were just describing on the ground and further afield than just Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, so we would have the persons who are participating, and what is interesting is that they were young persons at that time. So it would be good for us to hear what would have motivated them, what would have made them feel that they had to be part of what was happening in the society at the time, and also how they were able to organize themselves. So I think that discussion can also impact what is happening with our young people today, because they too are responding to issues in the society for which they feel very passionate. But maybe there are lessons that they can learn about how they can organize themselves and mainstream and manage the energy and passion that they feel so that they can perhaps arrive at solutions and, of course, bring about effective change.
All right, so we want to thank you so much, Sister Zakia Uzoma-Wadada, Executive Chair of the Emancipation Support Committee, reminding you that Thursday, the 9th of July, tomorrow Thursday at 5:30 p.m. EC time on the Emancipation Support Committee's Facebook page, this conversation is going to be live, and it is the Kwame Ture Memorial Lecture Series, Student Revolutionaries of the 1970 Black Power Movement. And we want to thank you and the Emancipation Support Committee for creating that space for these very necessary conversations at this time and moving forward. And remember, you can join us for live coverage on TTT, Chalk City 91.1 FM, Sweet 100.1 FM, Next 99.1 FM, as well as on Facebook at TTT Live Online for all your updates. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of the TTT crew, I'm Dike Rostant. Bye for now.